All right, everyone, we'll get started here momentarily. Just want to let a few more people come on into the stream. And once that happens, we'll get rolling with our expected snowfall totals, the timing of the snow, and also when it may be a bit hazardous to get out and about. So now that I got a few more people into the stream, let's get rolling here. I appreciate you guys joining me on this late edition here on our Friday. And if you are joining us and you have a city that you don't necessarily know how much snow you could see, definitely leave your city in the comments. And once we are towards that map that I'll show of our expected snowfall totals, I'll kind of hone in on those cities that you have commented in this video, and I'll tell you a little bit more specifically on how much snow you may see in your region. We're going to start off with the timing of this snowfall, which is laid out in our Storm Ready Alert Day headlines. For the morning hours on our Saturday, things will be quiet. That might be the best time to run some errands, maybe return some of those clothes or merchandise you got today on a Black Friday sale and you wanted to get it back to the store. Tomorrow morning is going to be quiet. We'll have some clouds. We'll have a few light snow showers in the afternoon. So even if you have to stretch that into the early afternoon, things won't be all that bad. It's the late afternoon into the evening that the snow really increases in intensity and coverage, and then it gets pretty impactful. It'll continue to pile up as we get into the overnight hours on Saturday and into our Sunday morning. Now, those impacts are likely going to extend into Sunday afternoon and evening, even when the snow ends, just because of how much we are going to have and how long of a duration of this snowfall we are expecting to see. Now, the storm doesn't really look all that impressive on radar right now, I will say that. But over the next 12 to 18 hours, it's really going to get its act together. It has a couple pieces of energy that are going to come together as one, and that's going to bring some significant snow and allow it to develop here across the Midwest, eventually going to swing here into the Great Lakes. You can see those storm ready alerts. They stretch far and wide. You have those winter weather advisories, which are in purple, and then we have our winter storm warnings, which are in pink, and that extends pretty much across the entire state of Iowa, southern Minnesota, southern and central Wisconsin, northern and central Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, and then here across central and southern Michigan. If you are under a winter weather advisory, especially across our eastern counties, you may get upgraded as we start to get a little bit more information tonight with our latest model runs. But overall, if you are under a winter weather advisory, you'll see slightly lower snowfall amounts than those that are under a winter storm warning. As we zoom on in, you can see, and I'll move this over just a hair just so we can get all of our counties in there. That winter storm warning goes into effect morning to afternoon on Saturday, and it continues into the morning hours on our Sunday. Winter weather advisory is also going to be Saturday afternoon into the evening and continue into Sunday morning. Timing wise, it's a few hours in each direction, but overall, that snow will really get heavy and more persistent in the afternoon and evening in our region and continue into Sunday morning. As I was mentioning, in that winter weather advisory, we have some slightly lower snowfall totals than what we are going to see and encounter in our winter storm warning. Those that are under the winter storm warning include Isabella, Gratiot, Owasso, should I say Shiawassee? Owasso is in Shiawassee, Shiawassee County, Livingston, Saginaw, as well as Midland and Bay counties. Everyone else is under that winter weather advisory. We don't really have to worry about any major snowfall here this evening and tonight. There will still be a few flurries around, some lighter to moderate snow showers still coming off of Lake Michigan because of lake effect across M55. That's where we had some significant snow. Those temperatures all below freezing, so anything that's icy will have remained icy throughout the day, and we may still get a dusting or so of that snowfall, especially off to the north. Wind chills right now are in the teens to lower 20s. We still have enough of a breeze to really bring those numbers down. Those winds, though, are expected to subside overnight. We'll have barely any wind out there to start the day on Saturday. As we go into the heavier snowfall, winds will pick up a bit, some 15 to 25 mile per hour gusts, and those will actually get stronger behind this wave as we look into our Sunday. Some 30 mile per hour gusts are possible in the afternoon and evening once the snow is done. But during the snow, we'll still have some of those 20 to 25 mile per hour gusts that could lead to some blowing snow, some lower visibility, but nothing that should be necessarily too significant when we're talking about visibility numbers. The really big issue that we are going to encounter is the road conditions. That snow is going to pile up quickly. It's cold enough to support an accumulation right off the bat, right when that snow gets heavy enough, and it's just going to continue to pile up. And of course, road crews are going to do their best, but we all know that the road crews can't be on every road at every moment. So they're likely going to stay on the main roads. So those secondary roads, side roads, your neighborhood roads, those are going to be completely snow covered through the duration of this event. As we go through tonight and to tomorrow, any of those flurries, light snow showers will end. 7 a.m., you can see no snow happening right now. By about 3 p.m. across our western communities, so towards US 23 and also US 127, we'll start to get into that lighter snow. It's after 3 p.m. that this storm is really going to get its act together in our area. And by 9 p.m., we're all under the moderate to heavy snowfall. And that's how it's going to stay for the remainder of the evening into the overnight, and also as we go into Sunday morning. It's Sunday afternoon that the snow finally peels away. We still will have a few snow showers in the afternoon, but the majority of the accumulation will be done by noon. So if you wanted to get out after noon, you'll pretty much be okay with removing all that snowfall. You may have another dusting or so out there on what you already removed, but overall that snow accumulation will be done by lunchtime. As we go into our Monday, things will be a lot quieter. Now time for our snowfall forecast. In the darker blue, where we primarily have our winter weather advisories, it doesn't mean everyone in the winter weather advisory will see 4 to 7. There are some locations that may, and this is going to be isolated, for those that are in the darker blue, may get just over 7 inches, but a general 4 to 7 inches is expected in the darker blue. As you go into the purple, so that's across and to the west of Interstate 75, more so US 23, out towards US 127, we've got 5 to 9 inches on the way. And I would not be surprised, especially closer to US 127, where we'll have a longer snowfall and some better moisture coming in with this system, and also better snow ratios. It's not going to get as warm as those that are in that darker blue. You may see upwards of 10 inches. It could be some spots that get double-digit snowfall amounts and snowfall totals. But in general, what you see on the map is what you're going to get. So Caro, Flint, Lapeer, Sandusky, Bad Axe, 4 to 7 inches here. Gladwin, you may be closer to that 6 to 8 rather than 4 to 7 because you're kind of right on that line. But Standish, Tawas City, Oscoda, West Branch, Houghton Lake, 4 to 7. Then we get into the 5 to 9. Clare, Mount Pleasant, Midland, Bay City, Saginaw, Chesaning, Owasso, Alma in that 5 to 9 range. And I'm making sure I'm keeping an eye on the comments. If you guys didn't hear a city that you are familiar with or around, you're more than welcome to leave your city in the comments, and I'll give you a better idea of just how much snowfall I'm expecting in your county or city. But overall, we're expecting about 5 to 9 inches across the entire Clare County, Isabella County, Gratiot County area, as well as Shiawassee County, Saginaw County, much of Bay County, all of Midland County, and potentially parts of Roscommon and Gladwin counties. Now, as you go into Iosco, into Aranac as well, and into the majority of the thumb parts of Genesee County, you'll see more so 4 to 7 inches. Lapeer, Tuscola, Sanilac, Huron counties will be more in that 4 to 7 inch range. Chelsea, the time of the heaviest snow starting from Detroit to Midland. So for Detroit, and what I'll actually do is I'll get to our more zoomed out look on this map. So you'll have to bear with me because I'll have to edit this here in a moment. I'm going to have to take a couple of these pieces off. So when it comes to Detroit, as you can see down near Detroit, it's probably going to really start to get heavy towards 7 p.m. and after that. Midland, it might be a bit earlier. I would say Midland, it's definitely going to start snowing lightly before it gets heavy. But overall, I would say the heaviest snow is probably going to be closer to 7 p.m. and beyond for both Midland and Detroit. Jenny Miller, it depends on where you live. I'll give you a better idea on when it will start if you let me know what county or city you are in. Crystal Parks, the heaviest snow for Genesee and Lapeer, primarily about 4 to 7. Some spots may get up to 8 inches. So as we were talking about, you can see that this, as I was mentioning on radar, it doesn't look all that impressive system-wise, but you can see that it grows a lot over the next 12 hours, and we just have a large amount of snowfall that's going to roll on through and give us some of those higher snowfall totals. Jenny for New Lothrop. And again, guys, feel free to, if you have a city, county, community that you want to know more about when it comes to the timing of the snowfall, how much snow you are going to see, you can definitely leave them in the comments, and I'll give you a better idea of just how much snow you may be seeing. So, and let me make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, Jenny, New Lothrop. And you wanted to know the start time. So for New Lothrop, I would say the light snow will begin as early as 3, 4 o'clock. It may be lightly snowing, but the heavier snow will probably be 6 to 7 p.m. and then it'll get worse from there. Odin, Oakland County, it's probably going to be in that, heaviest snowfall range. I would say 6, 7, 8 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame. Christopher from Macomb, you're probably in that 4 to 7 inch range. Holly, 4 to 7. For Melvindale, Flat Rock area, I would say the timing is going to be closer to 7 o'clock. That it really gets heavier. For the amounts, you may actually see less than most of the area, but I would still say 3 to 6 for you. The estimated start time for Flint Schwartz Creek, it's going to get heavier. You may see some light snow before this, but heavier 6, 7 o'clock. For Kingston, you're going to have a little bit later of a start, but you're still in that 4 to 7 inch range. Mount Morris, about 4 to 7, maybe upwards of 8. Southern Genesee, 4 to 7, upwards of 8 inches. Mike, same thing for you, kind of in that 4 to 7 to 8 inch range. Jeanette, Sunday from Ohio to Michigan, it's not going to be the greatest travel, especially if you're going early. If you can go later in the day, things will be a lot better. Sarah Monroe County, about 3 to 6 inches, I would say. All right, hopefully I answered most of those questions. I am sorry if I missed it. For Adrian, Andrew, about 3 to 6, kind of in that Wayne, Monroe, Lenawee County area. You may have some rain that mixes in, so that could cut down on some totals, but I would say 3 to 6 inches is a good bet for you. So I'll once again put this back up. We're going to go to our snowfall map. So this is what we're looking at right now. If things start to maybe change a bit, we maybe get more moisture, or some of the snowfall totals are overachieving out to our west or even underachieving, we may change these numbers, but in general, this is a good idea and a good representation of what you may see. So in the darker blue, across M55, parts of Gladwin, Northern Bay, Aranac counties, as well as Genesee, most of Genesee, Lapeer, Tuscola, Sanilac, Huron, 4 to 7, and then you get into that purple, and it's about 5 to 9. Durand amount, closer to 4 to 7, I would say. Yeah, you're right in that darker blue, but you're also close to US 23, so those amounts may overachieve for you. I wouldn't say it's going to get too far out of that 4 to 7 inch range. Ashley, if you're talking about Jackson, Michigan, no, you are not getting 10 inches. At least not from what I'm seeing. You will probably, you'll definitely have some higher totals. Even though I know a lot of the winter storm warnings say 6 to 10 inches of snow. That's why we also always give a range, just because some spots are definitely going to be higher. But for Jackson, I would say you're on that 4 to 9 inch range. 6 to 10 is a good bet. It's possible that you get 10 inches, but, overall, I would say don't expect 10. I would say probably maybe a little bit lower than that, but it's still going to be over a half of a foot. So, and I'm happy to stay on. We're going to be going on live here soon, so I'm happy to stay on and answer any more questions that people may have. But overall, it's going to be a heavy snow, no matter how you spin it. Even if you get 4 inches, it's going to be impactful. It's going to cover everything. Roads are not going to be great. It's not advised to travel Saturday night or Sunday morning. If you have to, probably, you're going to have to take it slow, and you're going to want to have your emergency kit just in case you slide off or you get stuck. Make sure you're giving those plows plenty of room. Don't be going too far. If it's a destination that takes you 2 hours to get to and you have to leave at 3 a.m. on Saturday, it's not going to be a great time. If you have to travel in, you can wait until Sunday afternoon and evening. That's probably going to be the best thing to do. Or wherever you need to go, Saturday morning is going to be a good time to do that. It's Saturday afternoon where things start to deteriorate. They get worse Saturday evening, horrible Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then they'll slowly get better Sunday afternoon into the evening. All right, y'all. I think that has stopped our comments. I'll keep an eye on these for a couple more seconds. But overall, I just hope you guys have an enjoyable weekend, a safe weekend. I know there's going to be a lot of traveling across the state, so do it safely, do it smart. It's best to not travel Saturday night. It's probably going to be when the worst conditions are. And of course, if you're traveling and it's dark and you get heavy snow and some wind that's kind of blowing on in with this storm system, it's going to be tough to really go anywhere and do it in a fashion that you will feel safe and feel comfortable doing. So best to just stay inside, hunker down. I think we'll keep the power outages to a minimum, but those that have 10 inches of snow, it's going to be a heavy, wet packing snow. So, that may cause some isolated power outages. I don't think we're going to have a major power outage event because of this system, but, overall, just be safe. Think things through if you are going to have to travel or if you have to go anywhere. And, we'll get through this. We'll have some good packing snow for some sledding and some good snow for making a snowman on Sunday afternoon. And, I will say this for any of the parents that are listening, there may be some school closures on Monday just because of how much snow is falling. And, it's probably not going to be until Sunday night that those plows really get to those secondary roads and those side streets. So it's likely going to cause some school closings out there on Monday morning in some of the heaviest hit and hardest hit regions. I don't think it's going to be widespread that we have those school closures, but I think it's a possibility nonetheless. Ethan, you stay safe too. All right, everyone. That's going to wrap it up for me. We also have a story on Mid-Michigan Now. that will give you all these details, timing, impacts. And you can always revisit this video whenever you want. It will stay on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to see this snowfall map whenever you need it. Have a great weekend, everyone.